Alright, hi guys. What I'm trying to do is show you an update, and I didn't really make the first video of this, but I do have other videos about figs and things like that. But this is an old aquarium that I got, and it's a huge one. It's really dirty. It had dirt in it, but like I said, my uncle used to use it for he had piranhas, and then he got rid of them when there was a crack in this old thing. And when he did that, we left it outside, and I just figured I'd use it as a greenhouse, and it's been very effective because I've tried to make new plants from cuttings, and it didn't work. But when I stuck them in this thing, it really did the job. And I looked at other YouTube videos, and it talked about using, you know, Ziploc bags and all this other stuff, but it was such a hassle. And this little thing was a big difference. And here's some figs that I did in November, and we're in February right now. And if you can look really close, the roots have taken off. They're growing. This one's a great one right here. It's starting to bud right there, and you can see the root system in there, and it's just growing and growing and growing. This one I'm not too sure about. It's got some roots there, but it's the bud still hasn't taken off yet. I've got some that I left in water, and those have just really worked as well. And that's a different video that I've made of pineapples. This one didn't really work, but this one I left on the side of a window with a plastic bag, and I just threw it in here to see if it'd bring back to life. It just didn't work. But yeah, and what I've been using is, I don't go buy all these fancy pots. I don't use all this fancy soil. I've kind of done it the cheap man's way. And these are from printer cartridges, the packaging from the printer cartridges, and all they are biodegradable. I got one left right here. I like these over the plastics because the plastics, when you use them, you risk tearing the roots out when you move it to a bigger pot. So I use this, and it really does the job. And what I did, so that was in November that I did it, and now they're working. And in December, I grabbed some, these are orange clippings from my sister's house, and they're actually growing leaves as well. I can't see any roots, but they're taking off. And this one I don't see too much of anything happening to, but this one right here is growing little leaves. So two healthy and one that doesn't look like it's working out too well. But 66% chance is pretty good for me. And the same concept, everything that I did. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing now, because I'm starting something different. I'm using, I'm trying to grow it with paper shell pecans. I think that's what they call it. I went and chopped some down, and there they are. It's still wintertime right now. Today's February the 12th, just to let you know. And all I did was just got some cuttings. I clipped some. The dirt that I use, I don't buy any of that high special dirt that all they said in all the other YouTube sites, videos. I just grabbed some play sand, and I used about a 1-to-3 mix ratio. This is a 3-gallon little tub, and what I did with the first ones is I got about a pound of sand and then dirt, and I just mixed it up. The sand seems to help a lot, but that's what I used, and I ran out of these, and so I finally had to suck up and pay for something. And so now I've bought these little tops. I've got them, I think 12 for $1.50 or something like that at Walmart, and that's my next thing. And then I use some root growth hormone, and I think I left it inside. Let me look around for it. Nope, I left it inside. So I'll show you that in a little while. But that little root growth hormone powder, I'll have to do that later. All you do is get one of these. I've noticed bigger is not better. When I first started doing this in my trial and error days, I was grabbing these branches, and I was like, well, I'll get a 2-foot branch and I'll cut it, and that way I'm 2 feet bigger when the plant starts to grow. It doesn't work that way. You've got to keep it about 6 to 8 inches. I'm gonna have to trim these in just a second. And all I do, and I'll show you the first part, and sorry I forgot the stuff inside, but I want to keep the video going because my battery's low. I just tear off a good little spot. So let me pick a good one out first. This one's pretty small, you can see it. There's like a little bump right there. This is about 1 foot long. I'm probably going to give it a cut somewhere right here. And all I do is give it a quick snip, and I've got some snippers with me, and it's really hard to do this with the video going on. And there you go. And they say to make super clean cuts and use all this chemical cleaner and all that. That might work, but again, I'm being cheap here. And there we go. We made a little cut. I don't know if it's adjusting, but you can see the hardwood and the cleaner wood. And what I've done next is I got to get my knife out now. And I'm going to make 1 million of these, and I can show a video of a second part. And let me see if I can do this. I'm going to have to put the video down for just a second. I'm still here. So, all I did was get my knife, and I made a couple little slash marks on the side. And then all you do is dip it in that root growth hormone powder, and I think I paid, I forget, it was $2 or $3 at Walmart for it again. Good old Walmart. And just get it and use your whatever you've got here. I wish I had a friend to help me out with this, but nobody. This is kind of the non-cool thing to do when you're a younger guy, but I've always had a thing for plants, and I'd love pecan trees. And like I said, you can see the soil looks a little sandy and flaky. For some reason that works out a lot better. And all I'm going to do is make a hole, go inside and get that root growth hormone, and then just water it down. And I really think what the key is for this, like everyone else is saying, is the humidity. That really helps the plants. And when it was 40 degrees outside, this thing right here was it was nice and humid inside. And like I said, all it is some old aquarium that's my uncle was going to throw out, and the top part is just a board that I've got this flat board that I found from an old construction site, and I threw some old shower curtains on top of it that my mom was going to throw away, and it just leaves it in there. And like I said, the humidity works really well with it. And I made some more room for the second section that I'm going to have for these paper shell pecan trees. I'd like to say the figs were really easy to make or take and grow. These orange ones right here, I only have 3 of them, 3 little clippings, and 2 of them look great and the other one doesn't look too hot. So I'm really curious to see how this pecan tree is going to go. And if it takes, man, I'm gonna be loving this one. But so all I'm gonna do next is drop them off in here. I'll make another video in a little bit. I guess I'll call it part 2 or part 1.5 or something like that. I got to figure out what the title is for this one. So your ingredients, like I said, is you need something to trap the humidity. And I've used an old aquarium. And then you're just gonna get some dirt. Normal dirt, I mean anything that's cheap from your backyard, or if you want to buy those $2 bags at Walmart. And I mixed it with some sand, and it was about a 1-to-3 ratio that I used. And like I said, make sure you get your cuttings. And I use anything that's like I said, that's just made of paper. And you can, I guess, grab an old cereal box or something and just cut it out the right diameter that you want. And the only reason I like these, like I said, is the roots. If they really do take, you don't have to transplant them. You can just bury them straight in the dirt, and you don't have to risk hurting any more of those little baby roots. And then the root growth hormone, that's what I've been using, and that worked out really well. I wasn't too sure if that was going to work when somebody told me about it, but it did. And like I said, that's the only thing I left inside, so I'm about to run inside and go do that. But I'm low on battery, and I didn't want to start all over blabbing again. So those are the things that you need, and I'll make another update on how they're going. But again, my figs, after, what is this, November, December, January, February, 4 months, they look great in wintertime. It's starting to turn into spring. The orange clippings, there it is right there. just after a few months, 1 month less. Those are working out really well. And if you want to watch my other video on the pineapple part 2, it's still kicking after a couple of months as well. It really hasn't taken yet, but it's not dying out on me. Those are still working too. So update after update after update. I'm trying to make a couple of these videos. I used to have running videos on my link as well. If you ever see me, I'm a runner. I'm not much of a I don't talk too much about planting, but I really love doing this. I like running too. My videos are pretty bad of my running ones. If you ever want to see me, I'm already I'm past my prime on running. But there you go, quick look again. They do work. If you have any questions, just let me know. Like I said, I've tried to do everything the cheap way, and I don't know if that's the bad way, but I like doing things the cheap way because it makes me feel like I get more out of this. I guess I'm just a cheapskate, but that's fine. Whatever works. And like I said, if I can get some figs and I can get some oranges and I can get some pecan trees for next to nothing in a few years, that'll be great. All right. Thanks a lot.